everybody, it's Angel from Halo Inspirations. We give you inspirations to help you spread beauty and joy through your quilting journey. Today is just a product review, not any sewing, because we're going to go over the Sewline Glue Pen. And you know, in the past, I have never been a glue person. I was an anti-glue person, and I will tell you, there are a lot of people that love glue. It helps with many different things, depending on what kind of glue that you've bought. And I just thought, you know, after seeing comments below with people saying with my foundation paper piecing, I know people with EPP use glue, maybe even helping you get your stitching started. String piecing, there are so many different places to use glue, so I thought I would buy Sewline glue, which is a fabric glue, which is always good in my mind. Remember, I'm an anti-glue person, right? So I wanted something that worked well with glue and with fabric, sorry. And this is also water soluble. Now, I wanted to get pink. Pink is with Sue Daly. That's her trademark with Sewline, is this pink color glue, which I think would be so cute. Love pink. But also, this one is blue, and blue always makes me a little nervous. Now, they do tell you to test it on your fabric to make sure that there isn't any kind of interaction. But I've done a couple of things here because I'm just testing it out, and I wanted to show you what I found. So I'm going to bring you in closer. I'm actually going to show you how to use it within EPP. And I'm going to show you some other things that I found very interesting and very fun. And, you know, it's all about a learning thing, a learning curve. And I just wanted to share this because if it works for me, it just might work for you too. And like I've said before, anything that makes it easier can't be bad. So, Sewline Glue Pen in blue, and I will definitely bring you in and show you what I found. Okay, the first thing I'm doing here is I'm going to show you, I got this glue pen and it came with a refill. It's super cute, I will say that. Now, one thing they do say is it's water soluble and it dries clear. And as you can see, I do have the refill. So, it is blue like I talked about. A little worried about blue, but I wanted to experiment. They say it goes on blue and dries clear, right? So, and it's water soluble. So I took a little piece of fabric and I just squiggled on it. And I'll throw a picture to allow you to see a little more close, but there are some chunks where it got a little thick. Now, I will say they do come off really easily. And then I can still see a residue on where I made those squiggles. Like I said, it's hard for you to pick this up, so I hope the picture does justice. But I'm going to throw this in the wash and see how well it comes out. And at the end of the video, I'll show that to you. But English paper piecing is where my head went first, right? And in the past, I have actually done some thread basting. That's what I do, is I thread baste. But as I age, I notice that my arthritis will hurt more on some days, or my hands are really clumsy. So I thought this glue just might be the perfect thing. And I glued this piece yesterday. All of this prep stuff I did yesterday so we could see the 24-hour mark. But it gives us really nice straight lines. It was super easy, which I'm going to show you on this piece. Super easy to do. And then it was funny because I was sitting there thinking, well, how am I going to get the paper out? And then it dawned on me, these sides will all have been sewn to another hexie before I take the paper out. So it'll be okay, right? And very simply, I wanted to know how easy it was for it to come up. And I got to tell you, it went really well, right? And you just simply, now remember, this will all be sewn, so it'll be okay. And I can redo this, obviously. But you just simply can take the fabric off the paper, and it'll all be sewn together, but the paper won't be in there anymore. And it worked great. It absolutely worked wonderful. Loving this. Absolutely loving this. So how easy was it? So in the past, I would put a pin in, which sometimes, you know, you get your thread caught, and then I'd fold one piece down as I thread base and throw another piece down. Well, it's the same kind of concept, but you don't need a pin. And you just simply take your glue pen, go across the paper. You don't have to put a lot on there. It just takes a little. I guess if you do too much, it will be harder to get the paper out. And you very simply press this first piece down. Then you take your glue pen again, go across the paper and that piece of fabric, take your next corner and fold that piece down. I mean, look how easy and fast. And let me tell you, what I have learned is this is something that I could actually do sitting in front of a television, because it doesn't require any thought whatsoever. And pre-cut all of these templates out with some fabric and just sit and glue. I mean, this is, and it's not hard on my hands. My hands don't feel too clumsy. I'm not struggling. You just simply go across and fold it down. I mean, this is easy, guys. And you saw me take it apart. Now this corner's not wanting to stick, so part of it's me. There we go. And last piece. Bam. And you know how much time I'd save? Do you know how much time I'd save? And my hands don't hurt. I'm not super crazy trying to manipulate the fabric. And it just simply stays in place, allows me to sew it, gives me nice, beautiful edges, and then I can make my hexies. So I thought this was a really, really cool product for English paper piecing, no matter what kind of English paper piecing that you do. Now, we do talk about string piecing, and usually I just took some scrap because I didn't know how this was going to work. But I usually put a pin on the center strip, and then I take another fabric and I sew that first line. Well, I got to thinking, when you take the paper off, how hard is it going to be? Look at that. Not hard at all. And to be real honest with you, I don't even have any residue. I don't see any residue. If there is, it'll just be very minute. And I used a lot. I don't think we need to do that. I think you could just put 3 little dots, take another strip. Now that I did yesterday, so that was a 24-hour sit. And just simply line it up. And then you have it staying in place, and you can make your sew. I don't know exactly where I put the glue, but that's it. How easy is that? So I'm liking this so far, guys. All right, last but not least, no, it's not last. Actually, I thought of a couple of more. In English paper, or excuse me, foundation paper piecing, you know that usually you start with the number 1, you put your right side facing up, right? And I usually put a pin in it. Glue. All you got to do is put a nice little dot in the center here, putting your right side up, and you could do more if you wanted to, because this is the wrong side. And then you have your first piece ready to go, and you don't have to worry about where the pin is. And I'm thinking, as you continue to add more pieces, having no pin, to be sure, you know, that you don't have it in the way of your sewing, I'm thinking this is the way to go, and I'm loving it. And so far, I've only had the 1 piece. Now, they do tell you to do a check with your fabric to make sure there's no interaction. And I don't think there's any interaction here. I just wonder whether or not that's going to come out. So, last but not least, I was thinking, and I'm just doing an example with half square triangle. So, you know, you get your two pieces together, and this is just one method, but this could happen to you in various types of blocks like flying geese and whatnot. But, you know, you draw your center line, and then this is just one method, but you would then sew down the middle line. But you know, sometimes when you're in there sewing, your blocks like to shift. So I got to thinking you could put a little dot on each corner, and then it won't go anywhere. And your points will stay. So let's take this and sew it real quick. Now it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. I will tell you, I had zero it didn't gum up my needle. That's a bonus. Take off my leader ender here. And I got caught in a string while I was sewing. It happens, right? And of course you'd need to press it. But then you take your ruler and you mark the 1/4 inch and you simply cut it. And then you had allowed yourself to have your points stay together, and it won't hurt anything. There will be no markings. Here, let's just go ahead and cut it. And I notice my tension's off. I must have it threaded wrongly. But open her up. There you have it. Perfect. And the corners stayed. Then you can just trim as you need. Give it a press. You could use this, you know, to keep those points together. You could use this with flying geese or anywhere that you have triangles or points that need to stay together when you're sewing. I mean, even if you were going to put 2 square blocks together and you don't want any real shifting, you could add a glue on the top and the bottom and send it through your machine. I'm loving this, guys. I'm absolutely loving this. So those were the ideas that I've had, and so far I'm impressed. I'm going to come back at you where you can see my face, and I will have washed this in the meantime, and I'll take another picture. And yeah, this is a really great product so far. I love it. If you use it, let me know your thoughts. Love to hear them. But I know if this is helping me, it's going to help others. And I just wanted to share this with you. But I'll be right back in a minute. Okay, so I got to tell you guys, I love this Sewline glue pen. Now, as the more I use it, the more I just keep loving more of it. So that's my personal experience. I eventually am going to carry this in my shop, but I think I'm going to get pink because who doesn't love pink? Again, as far as I did pull this out of the dryer, guys, and yeah, I've got scringlies and I need to iron it. And I'll take a picture and I'll put it here. There's no residue left. It does wash out. That residue is completely gone. So I think the biggest thing that you have to watch is if you're going to put it directly on the fabric and it's going to show, be very careful. If it's not a quilt that you're going to wash, like maybe you don't want to wash your wall hanging, I'd be very, very careful how much glue that you utilize on your fabric, just so it doesn't leave that residue. But, and I would test it naturally. If it was something that was going on somewhere that you would see, I would definitely test the glue pen with the fabric just to make sure everything is safe and ready to go. But I had a fantabulous experience with this, and I truly am grateful for all of y'all who commented about glue. It inspired me to go and look at this, and I just really appreciate it. So If you have any positives or negatives that you find or that you're really enjoying it or other uses, drop them in the comments below. I read every one of them, and I do honestly take into consideration what each and every one of you say. And without those comments, I may not have gone and tried out some Sewline glue pens. So thank you all. So that's this week. It's all about that Sewline glue pen, that fabric glue pen. And again, eventually I'll hold it in my shop when, you know, we can get pink. And, you know, when it probably has something to do with this coronavirus. So as soon as we all get back to quote unquote normal, I'm sure. And if I see it, I'll get it just as soon as it pops up. And I will definitely carry that in our shop. I wanted to remind you guys that I do have a newsletter that gives a lot of inspiration, tips and tricks, sometimes discounts, just different types of things. That's called Be Inspired. The link for that is down below. Please join. We'd love for you to be on that side of the Halo family. And don't forget to hit the subscribe and like button and drop any comments because we love to have them. Today I will be on Facebook Live at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, as I am here in Virginia. And yeah, I'll answer any questions you may have and any other things that may pop into my mind. And if any of y'all drop any comments down below, I will be sure to share any insight on this fantabulous product. So, Sewline glue pen, guys. Gotta love it. And for those of you who are also interested in English paper piecing, I do have an older video out there. I'll put a link above. It does demonstrate how to do some basics with English paper piecing. I get that question off and on, so I'll put that there. But until next week or until 3 p.m., may you all continue to be inspired, productive, and joyful, and never stop making your dreams in quilting come true. I love y'all. Thanks for coming by.